Cool. So normal computer is going. Well, normal setup is going. Now I have to get my computer over there so that way I can see chat as we start to go. But yeah, this should this should be a fun time. We did this again last night, so I decided, well, might as well do it again. It's fun. I enjoy it. We'll have a grand old time. But as more and more as people start to show up and as we start to get going, then we can kind of just like start talking more and more there. Azam, I'm going to assume that's how I say that. What's up? Hello. How are you? Thank you for being here. Well, yeah. So the whole purpose of this live stream is pretty much just to, if you have any tennis gear related questions, drop them in the chat. Azam, I am 24. Just recently turned 24 too. I used to be 23, but not as of recent. But yeah, any tennis gear related questions, whether it be tennis rackets, strings, shoes, anything like that, ask away, drop in the chat. I will be happy to help as much as I can. Or Azam, if you want to do it, you can ask other things too. I'm here to help out, have fun, and just do kind of whatever. Cool. And to the people that are just joining, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining in. If you have any questions you would want answered by me, I'm going to help out as much as I can. Just drop them in the chat below and let's talk. Let's have some fun. I am not in my usual streaming place because it was loud out there, so I had to come into my room. So hopefully we don't get any extreme extra noise or anything, but we'll see. Azam, I'll stay here until the others come live. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. But yeah, Azam, you don't have to go when everyone else starts coming. You can still stay around. Khan, hello. Caleb, hello. Thank you for saying hi. Mateo, what's up? Let's see. Donnie, you got a question? What's going on? Brian, hello from England. Hello from the US, Brian. That's pretty cool. Farhan, Maurice, hello. Farhan, Maurice, hello. C. Merrill, hey buddy, I'm sick, so I'm just gonna stay here. Hi. Hey, that's okay. Even though you're sick, I appreciate you being here. That is super cool to me. So thank you for being here. Let's see. Oh, now it's starting to get there. Upstate, what's with those glasses? So these are actually blue light blocking glasses. So that way I can actually sleep better because these help block the light, especially from my phone and my computer, which I have right here. So that way I can actually just like get better REM sleep and then wake up feeling much more refreshed and everything. But yeah, that's what's with the glasses. I love these things. They were recommended to me by a friend, and I have not looked back since I got them. I even got my sister a pair for her birthday, and she has said, because she suffers from headaches and migraines, they have helped her at some point. So pretty cool. Let's see. Where was it? Donnie, you're asking the real questions here. If we can see water, not air, because we breathe it, can fish not see water, but they see air? See, Donnie, that's a very deep question, but I think when fish are in the water, they cannot see it. But when they jump out of the water, then they can, because they know they have to go back into something, and they would see that as they go through the actual surface of the water. That's what I'm thinking. Max, hit the gym, bro. I kind of do need to get back into the gym. I will admit I've been slacking a little bit on it, so do got to get back in there. We'll do it here soon. Mateo, what are we doing? Mateo, this is a live stream. If you have any tennis gear related questions, whether it be about tennis rackets, tennis strings, tennis shoes. That's the majority and the main reason why we're here. So if you got any of the questions, drop them in the chat. I'll answer them as best as I can. Some other times we just do it to where we just kind of all hang out, ask questions, have a good time, and just kind of see what happens. So whatever. Everything gaming. What's up? Thank you for being here. Haha, I have no idea who that is. What happened to my chat? Ali. Hey, bro. Ali's back again. Couldn't resist another round of tennis talk and tech. Hey, man. I'm glad you're back. It's good. It's great to have you. And so, if you got questions, please let me know. Let's talk. We'll have a grand old time. I'm from Iran. Where are you from? I'm from the U.S. Azam. That's cool. It's cool that you're from Iran, though. Jill, yep, blue light blocker. See, she gets it. She knows. Let's see. Where is it? Also, you can call me Carmel, just because my name is hard to say. Okay, I will go with that then. Let's see. Thinking. Okay. Donnie asking the hard hitting questions, bro. Donnie's questions, they just are different. They're built different. He even asks them different. I saw it's hard for you to understand what I'm saying because you speak Persian, not English. Well, I hope I'm easy enough to understand, Azam, but the fact that you are able to communicate, even though it's through stream, that is pretty cool. And I hope that we're still able to talk and it actually works out. I will do my best to be easy. I don't know what that means. I will do my best to speak coherently. Carmel, I don't really play tennis, but I used to play baseball and I'm playing soccer right now. See, Carmel, I used to play baseball too. I played for quite a few years, and I also played basketball, and then I ended up on tennis. That just was the one that stuck out the most to me, especially because it was a solo sport. I didn't have to have a team with me in order to do it. So that's where tennis kind of was like a good fit for me because I was kind of over being on a team. I just wanted to be like, if I'm going to lose, I want to lose because I did something wrong and I didn't want to have to. And if I won, I wanted it to be because I actually won the match or anything. So yeah, I would love to do that. That's why tennis became a big love of mine when I was done with baseball, when I was done with basketball, and I just never really got into football that much. Like even from a young age, I was like, I really don't want to get tackled. That doesn't seem like fun to me. Let's see. Leo, hey bro, can you please do a 48-hour chess stream, please? Leo, that I probably could not do. A, because I don't know how to set. I wouldn't know how to set that up. B, I know how to play chess. I'm probably not anywhere near as good as other people are at chess. 48 hours playing it, I'd probably get semi good or at least decent. But for right now, probably not. We're probably just going to stick to tennis for right now, for streams moving forward, bro. Let's see. Ali, hey bro, would you be cool if I clip and share a part of the stream? I'll make sure to give full credit to your channel. I think that should be fine. I think it would just depend on what you're wanting to clip. I don't think there's going to be anything. I don't think there's going to be anything, but I would probably just say let me know let me know what you're thinking, and then I'll tell you whether or not that's cool. Let's see. A song. Can you take off your glasses? I want to see your eyes. I'll do it for a few seconds, but I'm going to put them back on just because it is a lot easier and a lot more helpful for me. But let's see. That's me. All right, glasses back on now. Let's see. Carmel, I just subscribed. Thank you. I appreciate it. That helps out a lot. If anyone else wants to follow Carmel's example, I will not say that it is anything. I won't say that it's anything like I'm going to go against. Let's see. I don't even know how to say that. Mary, thank you for the 10 jewels. I don't really know what jewels are, but thank you for sending them. I'm being monitoring others. Jason, hello. Nice to have you here. Ollie, I only clip responses to my comments in chat and how others react. Is that okay with you? That should be fine. Yeah. Just let me know. Just let me know as an example, but that should be fine, Ollie or Ally. At least for this stream. We'll maybe use this one as a test, and if it goes well, then maybe if you're able to make it to another if you're able to make it to another one, then potentially we can do it again. But we'll use this as a little bit of a test. Let's see. Dark Discovery. Who's my favorite YouTuber? That hard question. I don't know right now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure entirely who I would say who my favorite one is right now. I have quite a lot of people that I do subscribe to, but I don't know if I have one specific favorite. And especially just because I have different interests that I'm subscribed to on YouTube, so that probably doesn't help. Like I have people that I follow specifically for tennis on here, like Tennis Nerd, Tencom, and a few other tennis creators like the Czech Tennis Guy and Alex Tennis, as well as Solinko and everything. So for tennis, I'm subscribed to some of those. Weirdly enough, I actually have Yoda. Goodbye. All right. But no, weirdly enough, I have like business. I have business people I follow for like business stuff. That's fun. What else do I have? Pokemon. I do have people that I subscribe to that play Pokemon and stuff on YouTube. Those are always fun to watch, and just because I enjoy Pokemon and everything. But yeah, I don't think I necessarily have a complete favorite. It's just fun. Let's see. Carmel, goodbye. Thank you for being here. Hopefully next live you're feeling a little bit better. Cotton, what's up? Glad to have you back here, buddy. Robloxian, are you famous? No, I am not famous by any means. I have a very small following here on the internet that I've been able to grow on with this YouTube channel, but I am by no means famous right now. Mark, I am not colorblind. If you're thinking it's the glasses, they're not to help me see color. They are to help me sleep better. Let's see. Abdel, what's up? I'm subscribing. We'll be back in another stream. Cool. Iranian Kiddo. Queso. Never watched him. I've heard of him, but I've never watched him. Cotton, good morning from Indonesia, Brody. Good morning, Cotton. Thank you again. Thank you for being here. Whoa, what happened? Liam, you're subscribed. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that, Liam. Callan, hello. Azam, what is in your hand? I wanted to. These are just like small magnets that came with my whiteboard when I bought it from Walmart. So usually they just are supposed to stick on by themselves, but I just have it like this, and so I just keep them together, and then I'll mess around with them every so often if I'm just at my desk, just because it is fun. PewDiePie, no. I enjoy PewDiePie. I used to watch him a lot when I was younger, but I really don't watch him now at all. Let's see. One Life, man. Earn It took me too long to figure out. Yeah. Yeah, the way I was sitting also didn't help in order for you to actually figure out what it said or what it meant. Oh no, my little trophy. Let's see. Abdel, Pikachu ain't nothing. It's just a yellow mouse. I mean, I'm not saying Pikachu's the greatest thing ever. Pikachu is by no means my favorite Pokemon of all time. It is not. In playing the games and everything, Pikachu actually sucks as the Pokemon in terms of like battling and everything. But it's the mascot, so most people know Pikachu. So when you talk about Pokemon, you just kind of got to talk about it. But no, I don't necessarily use Pikachu much for anything. Mojo, hello. Gorky, hello. I have a question. No. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm going to assume diamonds. No idea. But now that it looks like I've gotten through most all of chat. This is also a tennis live stream. So if the whole point of it was to talk about tennis gear and tennis related things. So if you do have any questions about tennis gear or anything, please, we can talk. Let's talk about that. If not, we can keep going with other questions, but tennis is the main majority reason that we're here. So if you got something, please let me know. Let's talk. Talk about tennis. What do I think about the sisters in tennis? Forgot the names. Yeah, are you talking about the Williams sisters? Because if you're talking about the Williams sisters, I'd be very surprised if you forgot their names, because Yes, I think most tennis players have heard of Serena and Venus Williams. They are some of the greatest tennis players to have played the game. I don't know anyone that can say that they are not. Harvest, why are you wearing orange shades? So I'm wearing these because I would like to sleep better after looking at my phone. Because because the glasses do help me, and from what I've noticed just from not wearing them before I go to bed versus wearing them before I go to bed, very 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 easy to wake up and not have my head actually hurt. Jaden, hello. Let's see. Abdel, I don't watch tennis because I'm not a loser. No offense though. Abdel, I don't necessarily know why you're here then. If because this is a tennis stream and I'm a tennis channel. I don't know why you'd be here then. It doesn't sound like I have anything or talk about anything that would interest you, dude. Right, man. What's my major? I actually am not in college or university. I already graduated from that, so I don't I'm not in school right now. Shira, where am I from? I'm from the US. Born here, raised here, still here. But yeah, let's see. Why you don't know their names? Because y'all, you know why? Because we're good. What? Joji, I have no idea what you're talking about. Cotton, I finally understood you can't eat your cake and have it. Means after I bought my own racket, you cannot expect to keep your racket fresh and still playing with it. It's mutually exclusive. I mean, I don't know if that's the meaning of the saying, but I don't where are you trying to go with that, buddy? What are you talking about? Brianna, it's a good thing you look like it. I don't know what that means. Travel to the universe, dude. It's evening. Are you broke? It's not evening for me. It's like nighttime for me. It's almost 8:30 where I am. I don't know how me being at home equals broke, but no, I'm not. Amber, do I know the song "Murder on My Mind"? I do not. Who's it by? Andrew, welcome to YouTube. Thank you. I've been here for a while. We can just converse and chit chat. Why you want to talk about tennis? I talk about tennis. It's just something I enjoy. The entire point of my YouTube channel is talking about tennis gear and tennis stuff. So I was like, kind of makes sense to talk about tennis. So that's why. That's why, bro. Uh, one, I don't know what was cold. Nah, travel. I already said not broke. Let's see. Joji, did you go to college? Did you go to college? And yeah, I went to college. I graduated with an associate's degree because I went to a community college because I did not want to go tens of thousands of dollars into student loan debt right around the time the whole world was shut down because of 2020 and what happened. So that's where I was like, nah, I really don't care to go to go into that much debt just to sit in my dorm room doing nothing when I could just sit at home doing nothing and pay full tuition for college at a community college and just pay it in full without taking a loan. But that's what I did. That's what I did. Let's see. Brianna, you look like Sung Hoon from Anything. Is a good thing, by the way. I don't know what or who that is, so I will take your word that it is a good thing, but I'm not sure yet. Daniel, hey, how are you? I'm doing good, Daniel. How are you doing? Thank you for being here. I do appreciate that. Joji, I dare you to beat me in pickleball. I'm the best pickleball player. Joji, I mean, hey, if it ends up happening to where we do someday meet and we get to play pickleball, I mean, I'm down. I'm not against it. We'll see. We can see how it goes. One reset. I'm becoming antagonistic. That's bad communication. I'm not being professional. I have no idea what you're talking about, dude. I'm just here talking to a camera. No clue what you mean by antagonistic or anything. Running. I don't trust your ceiling. Yeah, it's old. It's old, but it still works. So it'll get figured out. Sco Royal. Pure Strike 97. The white color on clearance has been a gem. Picked up 3 of them. Added 4 grams of lead at 10 and 2. Purely remarkable. Yeah, there's a lot of good deals, especially on the strikes right now, just because of the just because of the release of the new color of the current generation. So if you like the strike and you don't care about the color as much, then might as well get a few of them on sale, just like you did, because it's the exact same racket, just a different color. But yeah, the strike tends to be one of those rackets that falls under the radar anymore. Not as many people demo it or not as many people play with it, but it still does well. It was really popular back in like 2018, 2019. And then after 2020 and after Dominic Thiem won the U.S. Open with it, and then he got injured and didn't really play too much, there wasn't really too many other people that kind of carried on the legacy of the strike, so it just kind of fell off compared to others. Yeah, yeah, Abdel. We don't take any of the comments too seriously. It's the internet. People be hating, people be hating, people be loving. It's the internet. Let's see. Reze, what inspired you to play tennis? So I was actually told by my mom that after I quit playing baseball, that she was going to force me to go outside and do some sort of sport or physical activity, because she was like, you're not going to stay in the house and play video games all day, which is what I wanted to do. But with that, we ended up finding tennis. I actually had a few family members that had played before, and I got to play with them. I was like, okay, cool. And then I played it. I was like, this seems fun. And I just liked how I mentioned a little bit earlier. I liked how it was more of an individual sport rather than a team sport. So I thought it'd be something cool and interesting to do. And we've been together ever since. Let's see. Joji, what college did I go to? I went to a community college called Ivy Tech. It's actually where this cup is from, because I got the cup for free. Search it. I mean, you're not necessarily wrong, Abdel. Joji, hair is so okay. Thank you. Alessandra, maybe? I'm not sure. Something about Brazil, because that's the Brazil flag, but that's cool. Joji, my hair, this is pretty much just like water. That's not, I didn't put anything in my hair. This is just kind of how it gets because it's naturally thick and wavy, but it's awful to maintain and it almost always looks bad if I don't do anything to it. And me being me, there's quite a few times where I just want to rush out the door because I wake up and I just need to go. But hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And on the days it doesn't, that's when I wear a hat. Whoa, hold up. What happened? Who's my favorite player? My favorite player, I don't know if he still plays anymore, but my favorite player it actually was Fabio Fognini. For some reason that was just my favorite player just because of how effortless he looked when he was playing the game. So I always just liked that. But yeah, that's been about it. Cotton, yeah, the chat today doesn't vibe with tennis. I'm off to church. Bye, Cotton. Thanks for being here, buddy. Carolyn, hello. Mojo, too much information, buddy. I mean, we haven't really done much information. It's just been like talking about me, so I don't know where that get about that. Tennis is actually a good individual sport. I agree. Mohammed from Egypt. That's cool. I was always fascinated with Egypt and like the pyramids and pharaohs and everything because especially when I was younger, I got a book I think about ancient Egypt or anything. So that's all. Egypt's always been a cool place to me, and one place at some point I think I'll maybe visit. Diva, it looks like you're also from Egypt. That's cool. Brianna, you really want me to know who this is? Let's see, who is this? How do I? Bruh, I someone else said, I think it was yesterday or the day before, someone else said I look like someone from a K-pop group, and I'm just like, I'm not Korean. I don't see it. But I guess some people do. Joji, you too. Yeah, they wanted you to off your Switch. See, I've been on my Switch more recently just because Pokemon Legends ZA came out, and I got this for my birthday. So I played through this. I beat the game. I didn't finish the game, so like I haven't caught everything or done everything, but I beat the main storyline. So that's what I've been doing a little bit more over these past few weeks. Let's go around. I also have a Wilson RF01. Will multi poly hybrid setup help up on the sweet spot a little bit? I mean, it will by a little, but I think it would depend on what the multi and poly are, as well as just what you're trying to achieve. Because like with the RF01, it's a little bit of a harder racket to open the sweet spot just because of how dense the string pattern is in the middle. So by doing that, they made it to where you have to be a lot more precise with it to actually hit the sweet spot itself. The multi may help a little bit, Royal, but but it's probably not going to be too much just because the RFO1 isn't necessarily looking to have a very big sweet spot at all. Diva, can I learn Spanish? I probably could, but I don't know if I would want to dedicate the time to learning Spanish is the thing. That would be the hard part. Ah, Dominic, what is this live about? I just joined. So Dominic, the live here is it has originally been geared towards answering any tennis gear related questions, whether it be about tennis rackets, shoes, strings, anything like that. But it is also pretty much just like asking any random questions that you may want me to help answer as best as I can. But predominantly, it's mainly about tennis. Montana Tech, interesting. William, I got some Mach 10 on my E-Zone 100, strung 52 mains, 50 cross. I feel like it's still a bit too jarring. What string should I try next? Will, if Mach 10 is too jarring, then you're probably going to have to go to either a soft poly, like something like what was it? Not Wilson. Solinco Hyper G Soft, that may help. But besides that, you may also have to just go to a round polyester. Those typically do tend to be a little bit easier on the arm that compared to shaped polyesters like Mach 10, even though Mach 10 is designed to be more arm friendly. Or you might just have to go to a multi-filament and polyester hybrid for a little bit, just if you're experiencing tennis elbow or anything like that. So that way you can recover fully and then start to eventually move back into your full bed of polyester. But it would depend on what you're trying to accomplish and what you're actually feeling in itself. Sid, what's up? Strike 98 or Arrow 98? For me personally, I would go Arrow 98 just because after playing with both of them, that's the one I liked more. Strike 98 is going to be a little bit more control oriented just because it is typically a thinner beam, but it's also going to be easier on the arm. The Arrow 98 is going to be a little bit more spin friendly, but yeah. So if you want a little bit more help with spin, a little more help with power, I'd probably go Arrow 98, Sid. And if you want a little bit more help with control and a little bit easier on your arm, then I would probably go towards Pure Strike 98. Diva, yes, I am reading. Hydara, ignore me dropping some nice words. Found your channel completely randomly back when you posted, then deleted 4 vids, then switched to tennis. You're living proof that consistency gets results. Cheers. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. But yes, it's been a long road from when we first started. But yeah, glad you're here. Let's see. Illuminati, hello. Carolyn, hello. The Illuminati says hello again. Ryan, you don't believe I'm a tennis expert? I said I was a tennis equipment expert. I've never said that I was a full tennis expert. That's different. The only sport I like is curling. I mean, that's an interesting sport. That's an interesting sport to only like that sport. Why? What about curling is the thing that really gets you to be like, yes, I want to sit down and watch curling? What is that thing? I'm curious about that, kiddo. Let's see. Undercover, more iconic, Wimbledon or Roland Garros? I would probably have to say Wimbledon because Wimbledon has the most tradition attached to it. Roland Garros, if you are a bigger fan of Carlos Alcaraz or Rafa Nadal, then it is pretty much going to be Roland Garros. I would for that, but I would say it's for me. It's probably Wimbledon just because there's so much more history, and it seems like Wimbledon is always the big goal for everyone because that's the one that most people see and most people know and most people love to actually go through and watch. Download this game called Terrain. It's on the Nintendo Switch. Nah. I don't think I'll have time to play it, so I don't want to commit to anything. I played through Legend ZA. I finished it. I was like, all right, I'm probably done with this for a while. Let's see. Marco, hello. Nice glasses. Thank you. Let's see. Brandon, there's only one true global sport. Can I guess it? When you say global, I'm going to assume it is probably uh at least here in the US we call it soccer, or as it's actually called, football. That would be my guess, Brandon, just because I think that's more easily accessible and more worldwide than most others. But yeah, that would be my guess. Marco, are you selling glasses? First time here? No, I'm not selling glasses. I am specifically just wearing these to make sure I sleep better, but that is about it. I don't sell glasses or anything. I need to get new actual glasses though. I've been putting that off for way too long. Let's see. Andrew, have I tried Tourline strings? Thoughts? I've tried Tourline strings a little bit. I actually have hold on. I actually have a pack of Tourline strings right here. It's the Tourline K-pop because I wanted, when I went to a different tennis store than the one I work at, they had Tourline, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try this one just because I've seen stuff about it. I've got to hit with some Tourline strings a little bit, but I've never really gotten a full like time frame with them to be where I can actually like say anything about them. That's why I haven't made a video about Tourline strings yet. Just because if I'm going to review it or if I'm going to play with it, I want to actually be able to play with it consistently and not have anything else outside of that influence my judgment on the string itself. But yeah. I would say a lot of people are starting to move to Tourline, so something's working for them. Again, because I haven't played with them, I can't say what exactly that is. But I got one friend that almost swears by Tourline. He used to use a full Tourline setup, but now he uses a Tourline O Toro with Yonex Polytour Pro as a hybrid, but he has the Polytour Pro in the mains and the O Toro in the crosses. So it can work. I think it just has to be figured out what the specific setup you prefer is. But I am very interested to try this when I do get the chance, just to see how it does. Trey, hello. Undercover, I'm a clay lover, but I respect grass lovers. That's fair. American football should be called American rugby. They touch the ball with their feet like 5% of the time. Bro, I don't know why. I don't know why they called it football. I think I got no idea. It should be called throw ball or carry the egg. I mean, maybe throw ball, but I don't know. I don't know why they named it football. I don't know what they were thinking or anything like it. That's just what they did, and that's what stuck. So that's what we're going with. Clay or grass requires more skills, in my opinion. I think it's just a different way of. I don't know if they require different skills. I think they just teach different skills at different times. So with clay, you're going to get more and more of the topspin and heavy topspin as you start out, just because that is what works very well on clay. And then you also have to be able to build a point a little bit easier just because the court surface is slower. So you have to be able to have that strategy, be like, okay, I'm going to hit here, then here. If they hit here, I do this. So strategy, I think, becomes more and more of a key component for this. But with grass and even hard courts, because they're faster, it is going to be a little bit more of just kind of like absolutely destroying the ball and battering it. rather than just using as much of the strategy. So it just goes with it, but I think they just have the different I think the player just learns different things at different times because more and more people are going to just have a preference from what they were based off of and based off what they grew up in. Let's see. Brandon, have I ever been to the UK? I have not. I have not. The only place I've ever been to outside of the US was the Bahamas because I went there on a school trip. I went there on a school trip when I was in my high school's jazz band as a freshman, and we got to actually play on the cruise ship that we took to the Bahamas. So that is the only time I've ever actually been outside of the U.S. And it was a fun experience. That's where I found I really do like cruises. They're so fun. Let's see. Jojo, have you played on a brick tennis court? I'm assuming. I've been in Minnesota. There was a tennis brick court. I was like, it's weird. I haven't played on a brick court, but I've played on uneven concrete and uneven asphalt before, and that was weird because the ball bounced terribly. There wasn't really anything consistent going on, so it was just something that we had to adjust to. My dad and we did not stay at that court very long. We played maybe for half an hour, then we're like, this is not worth it. Let's leave now. Yeah, you guys are really just having a debate about football versus rugby. It's like, why? What does that have to do with anything? Anyway, Brandon, I want to go to America. I mean, hey, man, I like it. It's a pretty cool place. And the cool thing about America is too, it's like if you go to a different state, it's almost like going to a different country just because there's such a big difference from between state to state almost, just in terms of like how the people live and how they act and everything. So you could spend a whole long time like just going through America, the different states, seeing what you think. And I would think maybe one of the states you'd like. You probably won't like all of them, but you might like one of them and then just have fun. Rosa, hello. Let's see. Cal football's undercover. I want to go to America, but I'm scared of open carry. It's not it's not anything that is actually dangerous. Like most of the time if you go somewhere that is open carry, it's not really there's really nothing going on or anything. It's just there to be there. I highly doubt if you go to a tourist spot, you're going to even run into anything like that. So you can all, if you're that scared, you could always just go ahead and choose one of the quieter states that doesn't really have doesn't really have anything going on, but it just depends on where you want to go. U.S. is a big place. Brandon, you'd go south probably. Where in the south are you thinking, Brandon? That's a big area. GB, yo, what's up? Undercover, I saw a vid of that dude walking with an AR on his back, and apparently he's allowed to do so because he was fishing. I don't know about that. Like, that seems excessive, and I don't think that's a thing. There was probably something else to that story besides just he was fishing, but that typically I would assume does not fall under that at all. GB, I just won a championship today from American football. I don't know. What championship did you win? Brandon Undercover, I don't know why you guys are just going back and forth about rugby versus football. It doesn't matter. They're both sports. They both have a ball. They both have teams going against each other. Doesn't matter. I don't know why you're arguing. You've been going on and on for like 5 minutes at least. State GB, you want a state championship? Nice, man. That's awesome. Congratulations. Undercover, not in Florida, apparently. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're allowed to carry an AR on your back whilst fishing because of alligators or something. Bro, Florida is kind of its own beast. I don't live in Florida, so I couldn't tell you. But the fact that he's fishing in Florida near gator infested water, to me, that just means don't fish there. But some people, I guess, just want to. Yeah, dude. I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy to me that would happen. But if that's what's scaring you, Undercover, just don't go to Florida. You got 49 other states to choose from. GB, I live in Texas, so I don't know. No. Winning a state championship in Texas, I bet, is hard to do because of how big the state is. But that's impressive. You won, GB. Brandon, you get 5 to 10 years for owning any gun here. Dang. That's a lot. That's a lot, I think. Yeah. 5 to 10 years for anything is a lot. Chartle? Hello. Thanks for being here. Undercover in the UK, we get stabbed, though. Fun times. Well, that's not fun. I don't want anyone to get stabbed. That's not cool. You get years for pepper spray too? That's crazy. Why in the world would you get years for pepper spray? Ice, is it bad that I'm scared of women? I don't think it's bad. It's just you are you are, but it's not a binary like that. It's just kind of like how scared are you? Because I'm sure you have talked to girls before and you just have had a good time, you've had fun talking to them. But if it's a stranger, then yeah, it's probably scary to do or just to talk to them. Pepper spray is classified as a firearm? That's crazy. GB, you seem chill. Thanks, man. I would say I am pretty chill, but I don't think that's something I can decide. You should put your light higher so you can't see. I don't know, so you can't see it in your glasses. I mean, it doesn't matter. As long as the light is on my face, it doesn't matter as much. It's like, yeah, it reflects every so often, but I really don't notice it. Would you play on a brick court? It's in like Minneapolis. It's a suburb of Minneapolis, like 20 minutes away. Bro, probably not. Just because I don't plan on taking a trip out anywhere near Minneapolis anytime soon. So probably not. Ice, nah. Undercover, nah. Captain, really. You carry pepper spray in case a dude pulls out a knife. I mean, pepper spray is a pretty good defense mechanism, I would say. Would you like playing a brick court? Probably not. King, hello. Nice to meet you. Brandon, to be fair, you get years for social media posts here. That's crazy, dude. Crazy. Yeah. All right. Yeah. With that being said, Undercover, regarding tennis, do you play a lot or are you just into equipment? So I typically play at least once to twice a week, just so that way I can I can get out, have some exercise, have fun with my friends, as well as find the time so that way I can do my reviews for the channel here. So I do tend to play quite a bit and I do enjoy playing. I just started working at a tennis retail store. So by working there, that got me started into more and more just like diving into all the gear and stuff because I want to make sure I was good at my job. And I was like, oh, this stuff's actually pretty cool. And so then I just started like making this channel to talk about this stuff because not many people that I live with or not many people necessarily in my life will talk tennis with me all the time. So I was like, well, I kind of want other people to talk to about this. So channel it is. Here we are. King, good morning and love from India. Good morning to you, sir. Good night from the U.S. and love from the U.S. Well, from this side of the U.S. The other side where California is, the west side. Yeah, I'm on the East Coast. The West Side, though they're barely even at 6 o'clock. They're not even there yet, so they still got a while. But for me, it's nighttime. So, yeah. Gamer Dragon, hello from Ukraine. Hello, Gamer Dragon. Hello from the U.S. Thank you for being here. Joji, I don't know why a country club would have a brick tennis court. That just seems weird. Magic, sick red glasses. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Marco, hello. Rayanne or Ryan? I'm going to assume Rayanne would be my guess from how that's spelled. Hello. Do I have a favorite Ninja Turtle? Dude, I do. My favorite Ninja Turtle, Donatello. It always has been. As far as I've heard and seen, always will be Donatello. Just always liked that guy. He's always been my favorite. And this was even before I figured out that I liked purple as a color. I just liked Donatello in itself. Judge, the country club has a pool football field. What? A pool the size of a football field? Because I think that's what you're saying. King, have I ever gone to India? I would assume that's what you're asking. I have not. I've never been. I've never been on that side of the world. I've mainly just stayed around the U.S. for the most part. Let's see. Gonna go to sleep. Undercover's about to go to bed. Cool. Donnie don't get a lot of love. Good choice. Thanks, Magic. Donnie underrated. He may only be whacking things with a stick, but he's awesome. Joji, you're in mountain time. Okay. Marco, I notice you don't have a ring. Correct. I do not have a ring. There is a ring somewhere in my room, but I do not have a ring myself. Ulrich, if I were a superhero, what would my powers be? I would probably say teleportation. That's always been one that has seemed like a good thing for me, well, or at least something I would enjoy using. So I would say teleportation and probably like the ability to read minds. Those two were always the ones that stuck out to me as a little kid. But yeah, probably those two if I had to choose. King, most welcome whenever I want to come on down to India. Maybe one day, King. We'll see. Nix. Hello from Heidelberg, Germany. Hello. Nice to meet you. Undercover football and rugby. You're still on the football and rugby thing. I thought you and Brandon were done with this. Miley, thank you for the compliment. Let's see. Joji as a football field and a pool. Okay. No, Marco, any plans to visit other countries? Run away from the winter? No. I actually am one of those people that likes snow, and I actually like the cold better than I do summer and everything. And I would much rather be cold than I would rather be hot. So where I'm at, it's supposedly going to snow sometime here soon. So I'm actually very excited for that because I like seeing the snow. I don't like driving in the snow. I don't like doing anything else in the snow, but I like seeing the snow. And I just like that. But no, I do not have any plans to leave the US at any time here soon. I also would have to get my passport in order to do that, so I don't have any big plans to leave right now. I'm cool with where I'm at, maybe going to a different state here or there, but not right now. Let's see, Blue Shark, have I tried the new Doritos flavor? I have not. I've only ever tried one flavor of Dorito, and is the only flavor I've ever actually had from them because I just have never tried another one. And it was actually Cool Ranch, and that is the only Dorito I've ever eaten. Never tried the normal one. Never tried a regular one. I've never tried a different flavor. It's just something great. It's just something that I never did. I just had the one Dorito. I was like, all right, I'm good. Benjamin, hello. What's going on? Undercover, I'll be done when Joji stops calling it football. Ben, subbing to show support. Thank you. I appreciate that. Means a lot. Brandon, come to Scotland. You'll get plenty of cold. Like I said, I ain't leaving the US anytime here soon. All right, Undercover, you're really gonna go now. Where to go? Like the channel, keep it up, bro. Subscribe. Thank you, Undercover. I appreciate it. That means a lot to me. Brandon might go down to Mexico. See if no. I highly doubt that's gonna happen. Recommend you again. Okay. You love F4. It's a good thing you love Doritos. Tech. I don't know who that is. Xander. Thank you, sir. You have a blessed day as well. Joji, would I like to come to Montana? That's where I live. See, I've never been to Montana. I also don't know of anything that exists in Montana besides wilderness, and now you, Joji. So maybe one day I'll be out that far, or out that far. But maybe we'll see. Ulrich, what type of brands or equipment could give one last push to Djokovic, in my opinion? So with Djokovic, the thing, I don't think that there's necessarily something that's going to push him even further than what he's already using. And I would say that just because if he tries to switch something now after he's been playing with a very consistent setup and a very consistent kind of just like everything for a while, then in reality it's not going to do him good to try and switch anything, just because it would be harder for him to adjust his game to that in the short amount of time he may still have on the tour than it would be just to kind of like finish with what he's using right now and kind of just go from there. So I wouldn't necessarily say that there's something new he should try. I think he's just got to use what he's got. Maybe he tries a different tension just to kind of give him a little bit more of the power to combat some of these guys that are swinging and hitting the ball extremely hard. But I don't know. I hope he's still around for a while. I enjoy watching Djokovic play, but we'll see what happens. Marcos, I can't say I like winter because in Brazil it's so hot. Snow is rare here. Man, that's crazy. Winter being hot. I just can't imagine that, just because where I live, winter has always been like freezing. There's been times where it's been below negative 10 degrees on a day, and I'm just like, this is awful. But I get to see snow. So to me, I was like, as long as my hands and my feet are not cold, I'm fine. Like everything else on me can be cold, but if my hands and feet are cold at all, I just can't stand it. I don't know why. That's just me. Jojo, my dad doesn't like driving in the snow. He hates it. It really just like you. He likes the snow, but he doesn't want to drive in the snow. Yeah, driving in the snow is terrible. Like I was driving home from work one day in a snowstorm because we got to work and then the snowstorm got bad, so they sent everyone home early. And so I was just driving along, and I go to make a left turn to get closer and closer to my house, and then all of a sudden, the back two tires of my car and the just back half of my car just starts swerving out from underneath me. I was like, oh, so we're doing this now. So luckily I don't press on the brake because that just would have made it worse. But I got the car back under control. Luckily there were no other cars coming, so I was safe in that regard. But it still took me a while to adjust and make sure that I was actually able to get back in the correct lane. So Driving in snow, not the best. Looking at snow and playing in snow, pretty awesome. M, what happened to my live yesterday? Nothing. You were there, M. You saw everything. I'm pretty sure it's up so that it got uploaded to the channel. But yeah, everything everything is, from what I've seen, everything is good on my end. I don't know about anything else. Let's see, Marco, Christmas with snow must be amazing. It is pretty cool. It's been a few years, I think, since we've had actual snow on Christmas, but we've had snow like leading up to it. So it's always a fun time, at least for me. My family kind of hates snow. I'm in the minority here, but yeah, I enjoy it. Joji, why does three cities that you would like? Number one is Bozeman, Montana. Number two is Helena, Montana, and number three is Butte, Montana. Are you just saying cities in Montana you think I would enjoy? Yeah. Ahem, it ended abruptly. So, uh, with last night's stream, we were already going for over 2 hours, and my phone that you're watching this now and I'm using to do this live stream now with, my phone was on 3%. So there was no way of continuing that without my phone dying. So that's why I was saying, hey, that's where we're going to wrap up for the night. We kind of had like come to the end of all the conversations in the chat. So I was like, okay, it is now time to where it's like, okay, we can end this here. And we had a good stream for the day, and we'll just kind of like go from there. But yeah, that's why it ended when it did. My camera and stuff was about to die, so I was like, well, kind of have to end it here just to make sure that everything like shuts down and like goes off correctly. But that was it. Cool. Well, with that being said, kind of like in yesterday's stream, if you have any tennis gear related questions, or if you think of any, please drop them in the chat. I'll be right back because I have to go to the restroom. I'll be right back. If you have anything, let me know. If you don't, that's okay. I'll come back and hopefully there will be questions here too, and we can go from there. But I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I see Kirby in the background. Yeah, Kirby's back there. I got Kirby as a gift, so I figured that was the best place for him. He's just watching over me. But he he moves every so often. But yeah. It's pronounced B2. Moves by itself. No, not by itself. Sometimes I'll just move him if I think like sometimes because what Kirby is on. Hold on. Yeah. What Kirby is on, if you can see it, is a space heater. So sometimes if I'm using the space heater, then I will probably just move Kirby so because I don't want to run the risk of Kirby getting heated up and potentially catching fire while I'm trying to sleep. So yeah, don't want to deal with a fire in my room. What is that? Hold on. Sonakshi? I think maybe I probably pronounced that wrong, but I'm sorry if I did. Thank you. Never met you, but love you too. Never met you. It's a platonic mutual love, I guess. Eduardo. Yesterday I was watching you talk about strings, round and shape polys. I'm looking for some poly similar Mach 10 but rounded. Any suggestions? Let's see. Hold on. Eduardo. Poly similar to Mach 10 but rounded. Any suggestions? What are you wanting? What are you wanting the rounded poly to help you with, Eduardo? Like, what's the reason? What's the reason you want to go to a rounded poly from Mach 10? Because that's going to help me. That's going to kind of help me like direct my answer into a way that may actually be able to help you. Let's see. Turtles, today's your birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you for being here. Corrupt. If I had a message for the world, what would it be? No idea. Corrupt, I do not know. I have not thought about if I had a message for the world, what would it be? In terms of like a grand overall message. I'm not sure. I would have to think about that. I'll think about corrupt. You'll have to come back to another stream at some point and ask that question again after I've had time to think about it, so I can give you an actual answer. Choji, Taylor, I think you need to make a Montana video. I don't know about that, dude. We'll see. Maybe one day if I'm ever in Montana, I'll do one when I'm there, but as of right now, that is not in the plans. Let's see. M, your guess is as good as mine. I'm kind of not sure. Sanak, I'm fine. I mean, this is the first time we've ever interacted with each other, so I would say I'm doing okay. We're doing good. I hope you're doing well too. How are you doing? You said you're from India. Hope everything's going well for you. Choji, it would be It would be much easier if you did that because Montana is such a beautiful state. It has so many beautiful things around. It has the big sky. Uh, most places have a big sky, Joji. That's kind of the whole point of the sky. But I've seen a lot of like really big nature stuff for Montana. So that I would say I think I've had one friend that's went out there before to go out and see the sights and everything. He said he really liked it. So at some point maybe, but we'll see. Shout out to Indian food. Uh I can't say that. I've never had Indian food. That is not something that has ever touched my palate. Dylan, hello. Eduardo, I like Mach 10 a lot, but I'm a flat hitter. I'm looking for something between softer than Mach 10 and softer than Polytour Pro. Sorry for the bad English. I'm from Brazil. Don't apologize. Don't apologize, Eduardo. You're doing good. You're doing good with your English. So we're looking for something that is. Hold on. I'm just gonna write this down as I go through it so I can remember because that'll be easier for me. So we need round. We need softer. So for a flat hitter, we need softer than Mach 10 and softer than Polytour Pro. Let's see. Okay. Eduardo, I think M and Marco are trying to talk to you in your language. So nowadays you're playing with the RF01 Pro with Polytour Black 1.25. Okay. So if you're playing with the RF01 Pro, Eduardo, and you're playing with Polytour Pro in a 1.25, you've tried Mach 10. Are you just wanting the string to be a little bit softer for you? Because and that's the big concern, or are you wanting or are you wanting more help from the string in terms of power, spin, control, or anything like that? And I can repeat that if you need me to, because as you said, because if you need. What brands are comfort without loose power? Okay. Okay, so I'm looking for comfort without loose power. So if you've already tried Mach 10, you tried Polytour Pro, you're using Polytour Pro 1.25. If you like Polytour Pro, then one thing you could do is potentially instead of using the Polytour Pro 1.25, you could potentially go down to Polytour Pro 1.20. I think they do make that so that way you get a little bit more comfort, a little bit more power, and then I would probably try that first at your normal tension. And then if that feels like it's too powerful, then I would probably go and still use Polytor Pro 1.20 and probably raise your tension by about maybe 2 pounds or 1 kilo based off of what you usually string at. But you want to do a small change in tension when you do change tension in order for you to actually see what is making the difference and see if that is able to help you control the power of the softer polyester that you're using. So that would probably be where I would say to start, Eduardo, just because you already know you like Polytor Pro and that you do like Mach 10. So I'd probably just start thinner gauge Polytor Pro. If that feels good but it's too powerful, go up a little bit in tension. And if not, then I would say it's probably going to be more of like we'll have to try and find a different string, but I would say that would probably be where I would start rather than just switching strings entirely right away. Joji, I appreciate it, but I do not want a dog. I have dogs. I do not want another dog. I personally do not want a puppy. I don't want anything like that. I don't want the responsibility of taking care of it because I would not be able to I would probably not be a good pet owner. Pink tennis supplies yesterday. This guy's talking another language. X-Men, hello. Turtle, I was talking actual tennis stuff. If you were referring to me. X-Men, why am I wearing red glasses? These are going to help me sleep a lot better. That is why I'm wearing them. Joji, you said hello again. Excuse me. Hold on. Okay, good. Should be good. Diana, hello. Let's see. There we go. I hope that worked. Okay. Have I played with Restring Sync? Could be a choice for me. So Restring Sync, I have not played with. I've heard that it is a little bit softer for a poly, so that may be an option as well. But let me think for a second of some other circular polys that might be towards the softer side. There's Polytor Pro is usually one of the big ones. You may be able to get away with something like oh wait, did you ever try Eduardo, did you ever try Polytor Air? Because Polytor Air is arguably a little bit softer than Polytor Pro, but it's going to feel semi-similar just because they're both Yonex strings. So that may also be another one that might help as well if you want to try that. Sync may work. I just haven't played with it, so I couldn't necessarily say too much about Sync. But Polytor Air may be one to consider. as well as I personally like Technofiber Ice Code. That tends to be a favorite of mine, but that one may be slightly stiffer than Polytour Pro. So that is why I'd say that one you may have to be a little bit more careful with. But Ice Code does have a 17 gauge and an 18 gauge. Their 17 gauge is 1.25, and the 18 gauge is 1.20 millimeters. So you have some room to play around with if you want to try Ice Code. Plus, it's not as expensive as some of the Polytours, so that may be one to look into as well if you can't get Sync or Polytour Air. But I would probably say those are around the places where you may want to start looking. Hopefully that helps. If you need me to say any of those again, I definitely will, Eduardo. Marcos, he's wearing red sunglasses because he's like Cyclops from X-Men. Haven't seen X-Men. I've heard of Cyclops, but that's not the reason why I'm wearing the glasses. And Marco, you've been here long enough in the stream to know why I'm wearing these, so I'm not going to say it again. Joji, if you're looking for a tennis ball for the brick court, potentially it's probably going to be something like the Wilson U.S. Open extra duty tennis ball. That's probably going to be the one that will last the longest, just because it has a little bit extra felt on it, so it's a little more durable. So that's probably what I would say may work best for you right there. Let's see. Coach, sorry, but no. Is there a pumpkin on me? Was there a pumpkin on my head? What was that? G5 sent pumpkin on head for 400 jewels. What was that? Hold on. Explain. I don't know what just happened, but okay. Oh, it's back. Hold on. Since when is that a thing? Tango tomato. I was like, I don't know. It said pumpkin, bro. Milos, have a great day and night yourself. Marcos, you really know a lot about tennis, as I said, first time here. Well, Marcos, I tend to know a little bit. I feel like the subscriber count that I've gained to, it was well earned and well deserved. So I'm always learning. Still though, just because I do want to make sure that I'm up to date with stuff as well. But yeah, I am very, very thankful for that comment. Thank you. Eduardo, thank you for the suggestions. Regards from Brazil. Of course, Eduardo, if you have questions, especially if I do another live, please don't be afraid. Jump back in, ask away, and I'll be happy to help as much as I can. Jim, you just said yes. Okay, I'm assuming that was in relation to the pumpkin thing that was on my head. How? I don't know. It just says they keep donating jewels, or something with jewels. I don't know necessarily what that means or what that is. But yeah. It's like a tomato. I didn't even see that. Hold on. What do you do if there are no indoor tennis courts because it's almost winter? So do you just wait until spring? Some people do. I personally just joined a tennis club because my friends also joined, and then that way we can all we can all still play at least once a week with each other, and then I have access to tennis courts throughout the winter. But that's some people's answer. Some people just hang up their rackets until spring or summer. Excuse me. And they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just use this time to take off, enjoy something else," and that's completely fine. But I personally just joined a tennis club so that way I can keep playing. Adax, hello. AJ, can I be a moderator? No. I feel like I'm handling that my good enough for now. But thank you though for asking. I appreciate it. Let's see. In the winter fair, Joji, you're the like the best YouTuber for tennis. How many people are not like the best tennis YouTuber? I don't know how much subscribe. What? Joji, I'm a little confused by what you said, but hey, it's all good. It's all good, bro. Adam, I used to play tennis on Nintendo. Nice. I did too. One of the very first games I had on my old Game Boy was actually a Mario Tennis game, to where you were a human and you got to go through and play. You got to go through play tennis at like an academy. So you'd train your player. You'd increase the stats of your forehand, your backhand, your slice, and your serve, and a bunch of other stuff. And then after that, the big thing at the end of the game was you would play a tournament against Mario characters. So that was always really cool to me, and I always enjoyed that. So that was always really fun. Marcos, my battery is dying. I gotta go. See you soon, Marcos. I hope you will see me soon. I will be back here again tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be in this room or if I'll be somewhere else. We'll see. But I will be back for Sunday. That's usually the day that I've almost always streamed on, since I have done streaming, or at least live streaming. So, yeah, Sunday. I will be there. But it'll probably be around the same time that I started this one. Maybe a little bit later, depending on how the day goes, but we shall see. Frosty, why did I ignore that? Because it doesn't matter. Everyone has their own beliefs, and I don't need to sway people one way or the other, so I just kind of keep that stuff to myself. And the only club that offers indoor tennis here is $200 a month, converted because it's a sports club. So the thing is that it's a European company founded by a professional tennis player, and look, they're exploiting his company. Dang, man. That sucks. $200 for a club membership is a lot, especially if that's, yeah, since you said that's per month, that's crazy, dude. Like, the membership I have right now is, I think it's somewhere around $30 per month for the base membership, and then I also have an additional add-on to my membership specifically that lets me play for free as long as there's an open court I can walk onto anytime after 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and at some point in the morning, I think it's from like 6 to 8 for free anytime on any of the open courts inside. So I added that on for like $28 a month, and it is one of the best add-ons I've ever had for anything. Just because as long as court's open, I can just walk outside for free. So Very, very nice. And I'm very grateful that the club I belong to has that as an option. But I might actually, potentially, I might actually be getting a part-time job at that club, helping to coach a junior tennis clinic on Tuesdays, which I'm already going to be at the club on Tuesdays anyway, because that's usually the day I play tennis with my friends at night, doing that 8 to 10 session. So I might potentially, fingers crossed, I might potentially be getting free membership of if I become an employee there. So we'll see how it goes. It might work, it may not, but I still have to get all the details. But that would be interesting if it does. Add those ceiling tiles, Home Depot tomorrow or Lowe's. Adam, I gotta work tomorrow. I ain't doing anything. I ain't doing anything besides that. But they've been like that for a bit, so we'll be fine. Vinny's just laughing. And outdoors $30 converted too, but only for tennis. Gosh, there might be a small leak in the ceiling. I don't think I don't know if it's a leak or anything, but it's kind of been that way for a while. So it's not anything new. So I'm not extremely concerned about it. They were kind of there when I came down here, so you do that, you're a good teacher. Well, thank you, Em. I appreciate that. And we call those coffee stains. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy, Em. Nah. I don't know where that comes from, but that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. This has been uh Satiris, I will earn it, of course. Whatever I earn with my work. Exactly. Of course, Satiris. That one of the whole reasons to wear the shirt. You have to earn it. You can earn nearly everything you want in this life as long as you're willing to put in the work, willing to sacrifice, and able to go through the pain that is required to get it and was required to earn it. We work hard every day. We also play hard. We have fun and everything. And I'm going to bed earlier today. I'm going to try to restore myself. I'm a nice live. Thanks, Em. Again, thank you for being here. Plug your phone in. I know you said it was closer to dying. I'm closer to convincing you to play tennis. Hey, at some point, maybe one day we'll get you out there, Em. But again, have a good night. Jacob, hello. Can I draw you? No. I am not an artiste in terms of drawing ability. That is not my strong suit. That is not my forte. I absolutely hated art class when I was in school. I could not wait to get out of it because I did not care at all for art one bit. No, no artistic fun was had with me. Adam, I enjoy this channel. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate that. I try. I do my best to make it work, and be a place where everyone can have fun, just while talking about tennis. And on these live streams, anything else that apparently comes up. And if you enjoy the channel, as always, shameless plug, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It definitely does help out. No matter how many people do hit it, it just helps me out, and I appreciate it. And it's free. If you decide, hey, I did it, I don't want to do it anymore, you can always just click the button and be like, nah. And I get it. Things change. But yeah. Cool. But with that being said, Does anyone have any other tennis related questions, tennis gear, or anything going on? If not, we can keep going as we have been. I'm just curious because that's originally what this was started for. So, if you do, please drop it in the chat. Let me know. I'll be happy to help out as much as I can. Before, while you may be typing that, has there been music playing in the background the whole time that I've been talking? Like, can anyone else hear music going on, or have you only just been hearing me for the majority of all the time I've been live? Serious question. That is not just me asking something completely random. Has anyone been hearing music or something like that? Anyone? Nope. Do do I take your silence as no's? I'm not sure. Cool. Well, if this is it, then if no one's got any questions or anything, I've been here. How long have I been here? Queen, I love your glasses. So cool. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate it. They are here. They are here to help me get to sleep easier. So I very much appreciate these glasses for everything they do for me. And they're also very readily and easily available on Amazon, so you don't even have to special order them. If they had my prescription in them, they'd be even cooler, but hey, we take with it what we can. Well, yeah, with that being said, if there are no big or further questions, then here soon we'll probably end the live stream. It's been almost 2 hours exactly. So with that, I will either go till I've been here for an hour and 50 minutes, or I'll go for the 2 hour mark, and we can go from there. Just let me know which we want to do, but I'd say the 2 hour mark is probably where I will call it, and then we can all go back to our normal and regularly scheduled lives, rather than everything we've been doing here until the next one, because there will be more of these. I enjoy doing them. It seems like everyone gets to enjoy being here as well, and we'll just kind of go from there. Vinny, I like your hair. Thank you, sir. It has it is grown quite a bit. I usually don't let it get this long. I usually typically have shorter hair, but for some reason I'm just like, man, I don't want to go get a haircut right now. So long hair it is, and we're just kind of seeing how it works and seeing how it goes. Now, I will say, this is not the longest my hair has ever been. The longest my hair has ever been was like down here to my shoulders. But that was back when I was like 10 years old, because I wanted a very specific hairstyle, and I was just like, I'm going to do it no matter what. And my parents actually let me do it, and I was surprised. But yeah, the longest hair I've ever had was down to here. So I don't think I'll go back to that, but I don't know. I might let this grow out a little bit more. We'll see. LaRon or Laren, hello. No. Austin, hello. Thank you for saying hi. Laren, please tell me how to pronounce that so I don't think I'm saying it right when I'm actually saying it incorrectly. But how am I? I'm doing good. I'm here. We're having a fun time. We're live. We get to talk. We get to hang out. Just kind of like see what's going on. I'm having a great time. How are you doing? How are you doing? Ooh. Hopefully you're having a great time too. Do I want clean car? Do I want a clean car? I mean, I'm pretty much my car as it is okay. It's fine. I'm good. Wow. Jesse, you're gonna have to control that while you're here. If you don't, I will kick you out. And you are gone. Huh? Told you, Jesse. Yeah, we don't deal with that. We don't deal with that here. No. Anyone got anything else? Or should we just wrap up here? It's up to you guys. Either way. We will be ending here in about 8 minutes. And we shall see when the next stream is. Like I said earlier, I will be streaming again tomorrow. Probably close to the same time that I started this one, maybe a little bit later. So if you wanted to jump back in for another live session, we could do that. Or if you're like, man, this was kind of just like boring or not what I expected. I mean, I get it. That's okay. You don't. That's on me, but happens. But yeah. Georgie, what's up? What are my thoughts on going from Luxilon ALU Power Rough to Yonex Polytor Pro? So going from ALU Power Rough to Polytor Pro, you are what's up, bro? You are going to lose quite a bit of spin going from ALU Power Rough to Polytor Pro because the ALU Power Rough, the rough edges are what's helping to give you extra spin. ALU Power Rough is also going to be a little bit harder on your arm, so by going to Polytor Pro, it's going to be a little bit easier on your arm. So if you're wanting the string that's going to help give you a little bit more power and be a little bit easier on your arm, then that's what I think you'll get with Polytor Pro. If you want a string that's going to help give you more spin and help you arguably control the ball a little bit more, then you would typically want to stay with ALU Power Rough. So that's kind of like the two things for those that you have to take into consideration, especially if you've had like tennis elbow before or you want to help prevent tennis elbow. Then if you want to help prevent it or if you're trying to get away from it, then I would probably go towards Polytor Pro over ALU Power Rough. But that can also depend on the string tension you're using as well as the racket that you're using. But just those two strings alone, that's kind of like the few key differences you would probably notice, Georgie, as you try both of the strings. Let me know if that was helpful. Or if there's something you're trying to accomplish by switching from ALU Power Rough, let me know. I may be able to point you in a direction, point you in the right direction. There's a lot of thumping going on upstairs. Don't necessarily appreciate that, but hey, it happens. Again, does anyone else hear music? Please let me know if you do. I would prefer this live stream not to get taken down by like a copyright claim or anything, because that would not be cool. That would not be fun. I don't need a copyright strike on my YouTube account getting me banned or anything. Jordy, thank you. I've been playing with the Polytour Pro for a bit, but my string never break. Whereas when I had the Lux on the strings, I would break it every few weeks. Yeah, with Polytour Pro, because it's not giving as much spin as ALU Power Rough is, it's not necessarily moving as much. So that's also helping it. That's also helping it to not break as often. So Polytour Pro, you do have to watch and be a little bit more careful with, because it typically isn't going to break. It's usually just going to wear out, and you have to kind of like gauge where that is when you restring. But yeah, with ALU Power Rough, because of the extra spin added onto it, that one, as you found out, that one breaks much easier than some of the others, just because you're getting so much extra spin onto the ball. So yeah, if you like the Polytour Pro though, you just have to be a little bit more mindful of when you get it put in, and then when you start to notice the dip in playability to where, because like you said, it's not going to break, it's just going to go dead, and you don't want that to hurt you or to hurt anything or to cause you tennis elbow potentially. But yeah. Ta-da. Cool. Anything else? Makes sense. Yeah, I probably should restring in that case. Yeah, Georgie, with Polytour Pro, you'll typically be able to see and well, not necessarily see, but you'll typically be able to feel a big difference in playability from when you get it first put in to when it goes dead. And it just depends on how often you're playing, of course, with everything. But that's one of the things you got to be sure. Just restring it maybe about the same time, or maybe a little bit more often than you would ALU Power Rough, just because you just break it. You knew you were going to break it. But just keep an eye on it, be mindful of it. And if you haven't restrung in a while, I'd probably say just to do it, so that way you can see what a fresh set feels like again, because that'll probably help too with whatever you're trying to accomplish. I am probably going to butcher this name, so I'm sorry. Faham, why are you wearing those glasses? So Faham, I'm wearing these glasses because after I get done with this live stream, I would very much like to be able to go to sleep and wake up not having a headache. So that's why I'm wearing these glasses. These glasses are very helpful and very nice at being able to make sure that that does not happen, and then I can just go to sleep much easier. Gavin, what are you doing? You're popping off, bro. What is going on? What is sent 100? Comboed 100. High five for 100 jewel. What is Gavin, what are you doing? I'm so confused. Vinny, you are my man. My man. Whoa. Hold on. Alex, what is your favorite? What is my favorite food? I actually don't have a favorite food just because I really don't eat a lot of foods. That's just not something to do. I've never been one to go out and try a bunch of different foods typically. I mean, I've never even had a taco. I've also never had cake. I've never had a brownie. I've never had what's another like main food that people like that I've never had. Um I've ne- I've I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but there's a lot of foods that I have that I just have never had, just because I've never been a really big food person so far. But yeah, I wouldn't say that I actually have a favorite food. Faham, I should wear Ray Bans. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, Faham, but I don't know. I don't know what they are, so I'm not gonna wear them if I don't know what they are. I know Ray Bans is sunglasses, but I don't know anything about the ones you're referring to. Dana, Spanish, Spanish, nah. See, Spanish? No, Diana, I do not know Spanish. I'm sorry to say I do not. I was starting to learn it at one point, but I never did. But I never was able to. Let's see. Faham, where are you from? Which state? I'm from Indiana, Faham, the state where most people have no idea that it's even the state. It's just kind of there. But we have fun. We have fun doing some things in Indiana. You can't, at least where I am, you can't really do too much. You kind of have to go to other states to do a lot of the stuff where I am. So, yeah, that's it. Queen, I look healthy though. What do you mean, Queen? What do you mean by I look healthy though? Cotton, speaking of Yonex Polytour Pro, as per your suggestion, I strung it in my racket with it coming from Tour Bite. My ground strokes keep sailing wider than usual where it goes. Cotton, has that been since you have put in? Has your ground stroke started going wider since you put in Polytour Pro from Tour Bite? Because if that's the case, then I may be able to tell you the reason why. Toasty, my glasses are awesome. Thanks, Toasty. Appreciate it. Yeah, see, Faham. Yeah, you almost forgot it was a state. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like most people don't think about Indiana, but no, it's still here. I look like a healthy white man. Okay, Georgie, how's it been treating you? I got it because I had some wrist issues. Emmanuel, yes, and I've played and tried the Slinko Whiteout, the camo version, which is version 2. I've played that one and the first version. So I would say the version 2 is a little bit more muted to me. I felt like version 1, because it was a little bit stiffer, did not have as much dampening technology in it. Version 1 to me had a better feel. Version 2 was a little bit more muted. I think I would say version 2 is a little bit more powerful too, but they were very, very similar. It was mainly just the feel difference from version 1 to version 2, Emmanuel. Toast, no. Marana, charity work, no thank you. Aaron, I do not draw. Oh, okay. Oh, Queen, you were talking about the food. Yeah. I don't eat too many foods, but that also luckily means I don't eat too many junk foods either. So, we take with it the pros and the cons. Con, it keeps my arm pain free. Torbite hurts so much. Okay, yeah. And yes, Con, with it keeps sailing wide because of the shape. So Torbite, when you would use Torbite, the shape of Torbite would help put a little bit more spin onto the ball. So that is going to help you control the ball a little bit more and place it a little bit better. Polytour Pro, because it's circular and a little bit easier on your arm, it's a little bit easier on your arm and easier on your wrist. It's a little bit more powerful. So it doesn't have as much control as Torbite, but you are making sure that you're helping to prevent the wrist injury or helping to just like combat the wrist injury. So that's kind of the small trade-off you have to make. You could maybe, if you haven't had any problems with Polytour Pro, you could maybe go up in tension by about 2 pounds from where you're at currently. If you use pounds, if you use kilograms, I think it's usually about, you may be able to go up by, I think it's 1 kilogram, but don't quote me on kilograms. Go by pounds. If I go by pounds just because that's what I've known, that's what I grew up and have learned the best. So yeah, that's what I would say. If you like Polytour Pro and you haven't had any other injuries since you started using it, but you want to control the ball a little bit more, just slightly increase your tension. That would be probably where I would say to start looking towards. Georgie, great to hear. Emmanuel, thanks. Gonna have to demo V2. Cool. Royal, what's a good type of poly to counteract the stiff feeling of the T-Fight 305S? Georgie, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Let's see. Royal, what good type of poly to counteract the stiff feeling of the T-Fight 305S? That would depend on if you want the polyester to have shape to it, Royal, or if you would want it to be circular, because that would change the answer, as well as like kind of what the main goal is. If you're just going for a softer poly to make it a little bit easier on you and not as hard on your arm, then if you want it to have sides, there's a few answers. If you don't want it to have sides, you want it to be a round poly, there's a few answers there. So I just need to kind of know a little bit more of where you would want to go with that racket specifically, or like what you want to accomplish with the string. Marana, but I did not tell you what charity work is for you to refuse. No, it's not mean, it's not neglectful. I just don't want to do it. And you asked a yes or no question, and I said no. That's it. That's all it is. Use grapple snake, tour sniper at 52 pounds before, and it felt a little stiff. Hold on, let me check grapple snake, because grapple snake's one of the brands that I haven't used as much. Like I just got their Tour M8 string in my racket now, and I'm trying it. so I'm not entirely sure about what they all do. Let's see. Low powered, partially pre-stretched, air powered, 4x Kirsch. What? Its edges are less sharp than our square offerings, such as cube, and launch angles are less dramatic. That doesn't tell me how many. Okay, there it is. Okay, so it's a five-sided poly. Okay. Royal. Okay, so if Grapple Snake Tour Sniper was a five-sided poly at 52 pounds, it felt a little stiff. If you want to still use a polyester string and you want it to still have sides to it, you could potentially go to Slinko Mach 10. That is a poly with sides to it. That's designed to be a little bit easier on your arm. Or you could go Slinko Torbite Soft. That one is going to be more towards the Grapple Snake that you tried. That's going to be more towards that, but it's a little bit softer and a little bit easier on the arm just because it's a soft version of a string. But for shaped polys, you could probably go there. If you don't want to do a shaped polyester, then in terms of round polys, just kind of depends on what you want to do and what the budget is. You'd probably want to stay around. Hibe? I'm sorry, I don't know what language that is. Shaura? Hello? You were here yesterday, weren't you? I think you were here yesterday, if I remember correctly. I look like Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Yeah, I think you were here yesterday because there was a whole conversation and debate about this last night when I was wearing these glasses and had almost this exact same like hairdo last night. Well, what's up? Marana, if you thought I was mean, why would you hope to meet me? That doesn't seem like something you would want to do. Royal, what's a good way to aid the Technofiber grip? I've seen references to sports and medical tape before adding on the replacement grips. Define aid. Like, what are you trying to do with the grip itself? Because Technofiber grips, they are more rectangular, so they are a little more pronounced, but I don't necessarily know what you're trying to accomplish when you just say what's a good way to aid it. I would need a little more context into what you're trying to do. Justin, hello. Royal, make the grips similar to Battle at Wilson's feel. So you're just trying to like round it out a little bit more instead of it feeling more like a rectangle then? Question mark, Royal. Irish, my content is pretty much tennis related, and it's going over tennis gear, whether it be rackets, shoes, strings, bags, almost anything. Bags not as much, but yeah. But yeah, it's just kind of all over the place, but it's majorly all tennis stuff. Irish. Okay. Royal, that's correct. Okay, cool. Then if you're wanting to change the palette almost, that is going to be a little bit harder to do. You could potentially start to, if you take the base grip off and you just have the actual palette itself, you could potentially shave some of the handle to like make the edges a little bit more round, but that's going to be a little bit harder. That's going to be harder on your racket itself. I personally have never adjusted a Technofiber handle like that to where we're trying to round it off more, just because I that's never been asked of me to do in person. But if you've seen things about sports and medical tape before adding on the replacement grip, that may help, but it may also just be that you may just have to have the base grip on and then put maybe 2 overgrips on it, because that will be a little bit thicker, and that would be make it a little bit more rounded, just because you have a little bit of an extra layer instead of going directly onto the palette itself. So maybe do that, but take what I said with a grain of salt. I've never had to do that before. So if you've seen other videos about, like, I think you said what was it, with sports and medical tape before adding on the replacement grip, that may work better, maybe something to try. But I would probably save down, like, shaving down some of the edges for like a last resort if you really, really are trying to get it, because that can potentially cause harm to the racket, and then you may not be able to actually use the racket itself anymore. That's what I would say, Royal. Show you? Yeah, yesterday when I was scrolling YouTube Shorts, I saw your channel. I loved your content. That's why I came here today. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. OMG said hi, hello. Remember me, okay? From today, I come daily. Okay, I'll remember you, Shaura. Kyle, I don't know who that is. So I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. Let's see. Kenzie, no, I cannot do a backflip. Sure, I'm from India. Whenever you're coming to India, just tell me. We'll see. We'll see, man. I don't... Excuse me. I don't know if I plan... I don't know if I plan to go anywhere near... If I plan to go anywhere outside of the U.S. anytime soon, but who knows? Maybe one day. We'll see. All right. Cool. All right. Cool. So, with all of that, recently tried the Wilson Ultra 99 Pro V5. Plays fantastic with the fresh 1.30 poly, but almost about 2 hours before it became an unpredictable rocket launcher. What should I string it with? What was the string you used? Wayuber? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, but what was the string you used in the 99 Pro? Anime Nova, hello. A string with head links tour 1.30. Okay. What tension did you string it at? $2. That's crazy. 52, 51. Okay. So if you're wanting a string that is going to offer you probably the most control, the string I will say, it does come with the caveat of if you've had tennis elbow or you have tennis elbow, probably don't try this string. But since you're using Headlinks Tour, then I would assume you're probably fine right now because that does tend to be a little bit of a harder on the arm string, a little bit stiffer. But I would probably look at Luxilon 4G in the 1.30 millimeter gauge. So yeah, because I believe they make 4G in 1.30, but 4G it'll say 4G 130. That's from Luxilon. So the reason I say that is because even though it is sided, it is circular. It's not sided like Lynx Tour is. 4G I found is one of the best strings at maintaining tension, as well as just helping to give you nothing but control. And with the Ultra 99 Pro already being a spin, more of a power racket, but being very spin and power friendly because of the 16 by 18 string pattern, that's where I would say you could get away with 4G, but you're not going to get the same amount of spin as you would if you were playing with Lynx Tour. But if you're wanting to go specifically for control and to make the string last a little bit longer, then I would say to do Luxon 4G 130. Do your same tension of 52, 51 just to try the string itself. And with that, once you do try it, that's going to give a probably the easiest comparison to whether or not you actually like the string of 4G in there or not. So that's probably what I would say to do first. And if you like Lynx Tour in there, potentially just bump your tension up in that by a few pounds just to see if that gives you a little bit of a longer life out of it if you don't want to switch strings entirely. But those are kind of the two routes I would follow if you're wanting to get the strings to last longer, as well as just give you more control out of the racket so it doesn't become a unpredictable rocket launcher, as you said. So that's where those are the two pathways I would start with. Royal, what would I say is racket of the year in my opinion? Funnily enough, racket of the year in my opinion, it is the it is probably the Slinko Blackout 300 gram V2. That's probably what I would say my racket of the year is. Like my racket of the year that came out this year is. I did not think I would like that racket as much as I did when I got to play with it. And since I've got it, I really haven't switched or I really haven't put it down. So that one I was greatly surprised with. Slinko did an amazing job with it coming from V1 to V2. And I am behind that thing full on. Like to me, it's a great racket, and it's a sleeper pick. Not as many people are gonna say they like it as better than say like the E Zone that came out, but I do. Some reviewers say that this racket is a string eater and quite sensitive too. Yeah, the 99 Pro, it's going to go through strings faster just because it's the 16 by 18. And if you notice, there's a lot of space in between the strings itself when you actually have them in the racket. So because that's helping to let the strings move more, to help give you more spin and more power. Excuse me, you are going to go through strings faster, but Lynx Tour is typically a little bit more on the durable side, but 4G is, in my experience, even more durable than Lynx Tour, but you don't get as much of the benefits of the string helping you as much. So that's where you kind of have to go and be willing to sacrifice with the trade-off in order to see if it works for you. Emmanuel, I have a Head Lynx Tour, 48 pounds of my Wilson shift, and it feels great. Nice. Dom, bro, I need your shades. Dude, they're on Amazon. They were like 40, maybe $50. Yeah. These are great. US, when's the face reveal? Dude, just look at my channel's profile picture. That's me. I don't know what you're talking about, face reveal. You're looking at me. Why you? Fortunately, my elbow's fine with the stiff setup. Thanks for the recommendation. Of course, bro. Let me know how it goes. Braxton, you subscribed. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Let's see. Cotton, what about the E-Zone? What about the E-Zone 98? That's why I said Cotton. Not many people I think would say the blackout. The E-Zone 98 is probably going to be at the top of the list for a lot of people just because it is arguably the most popular racket that has come out this year in terms of just like popularity for everyone and also just like sales volume. But to me, I liked the old version of the E-Zone better, the Aquanite. I like that one better than the new one. The new one is good. It was just a little bit too muted for me since they added the Miniland technology into it and they thickened the beam up a little bit more. So I just like the older version, and that's where that kind of opened the door for me to try some of the other rackets and just kind of go from there. And the Slinko for me was what ended up being the best. But that's me though. Peel was this. This is live stream about tennis gear. That's what this is, bro. Memento. I have no idea what that means at all. I don't know who either of those two people are. Hibe, like I said, I'm sorry. I have no idea what you're trying to say. I don't know how to read that language. I'm sorry. Cotton, at my last meet, someone uses the Blackout V2, but it's his very first time joining. I don't want to bother him asking for his racket. Yeah. If you can get it, Cotton, if you get the chance to try it, I would try it. I really liked it. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say about it. It does very, very nicely. I think it'll work for more people's games here soon. So I think it's a good thing that Slinko came out with. Plus, if you saw, Slinko also made different grommet colors that you can change on the racket. So like they made 3 colors. They actually sent them to me. So like you can have blue grommets, you can have pink grommets, or you can have green grommets. And I actually just today put in pink grommets on, no, it was yesterday. I put in the pink grommets on a Blackout V2, and it was some of the easiest grommet putting in I've ever done on a racket. So that just makes it even easier for me to recommend for people who know that they want to switch out. These things were so easy to do. I was like, that's amazing. Big and Smash, hello. JH, hello. How are you both doing? Regarding the next Babolat arrow, I saw some change on the throat. What will change? What will it change? When will we get more info about the pure arrow? So my guess would be that we'll get more arrow info towards the latter half of the end of the year, or like a month or two before it releases. I don't I don't know exactly what the full change is to the Babolat Pure Arrow throat, but I think online it's debated in like the Tennis Warehouse forums, to where people are like going back and forth about what they did and how that's going to affect it. So because I have not got to play with it, and I can't really say too much because I don't know what the actual change was. Like you, I just heard it was something with the throat. So I can't really say too much just because I don't know too much. So yeah, that's kind of all I can say about that one. Big in Smash. But yeah, hopefully we get more info soon. That'd be cool, and then people can start to figure out whether or not they want to actually get it. JH, which overgrips do you think are good alternatives to the Wilson Pros? And another question, does changing the grommets change the feel of the racket? No, changing the grommets does not change the feel of the racket. The grommets feel and weigh the same as any grommets. So like, because these are right next to me, if you have the Slinka Blackout and you take those grommets out that are in it, that comes stock with the racket, and then you put these in, it's going to feel the exact same as if you put in the normal ones, the normal black ones. Now, eventually, there is potential to where some people will put weight in their grommet, so that way when they put it on the racket, it does change the feel. But if you're just looking at the grommet itself, majority of the time, no, it will not change the feel. It will not change the feel of the racket. It's just replacing the grommet so that way you can string it longer. You don't have to buy a new one. And then for overgrips, do I think are good alternatives to the Wilson Pro? I personally like Yonex Super Grap. That's always been a fan favorite of mine as a replacement to that. One of my friends, they really like the Solinco Wonder Grip. I think it was Wonder Grip. They said was the pro equivalent. And surprisingly enough, one that I was not expecting to like as much as I do is actually the Diadem overgrips for tennis rackets, the all white ones. Those ones I actually ended up liking quite a bit, and I didn't think I necessarily would think they were anything too special, but those ones were pretty good. I do have to say they lasted me quite a while. I had a good time with them, and yeah. So those are a few I would probably do. I would say I've probably used the Yonex Wet Super Grab, or they now call it the Yonex Wet Super Grab, or Wet Grab, whichever one. As long as you don't get the Yonex Dry Grab, you'll be fine. Because the Dry Grab, different feeling. It's made for different things. The Super Grab or the Wet Super Grab, that's the one that's the equivalent to the Wilson Pro. But yeah, the Diadem overgrips, what do they call? Let me see if I can find them. What was the name of them? Yeah, I think it was the Diadem Pro Feel overgrip. Yeah. I think that was the specific one yeah, it was the Pro Feels. That was the one that I tried from Diadem, and I was very surprised and pleased with. We don't tolerate rude here. Yeah, we don't tolerate rude here, Maris. He just straight up asked if I was disabled. How is that not rude? You just straight up asked if I asked because you thought I looked disabled. Let's see. Cotton. Most overgrips come from one big factory in Indonesia. It's all the same, but branded differently. Hmm. Kaylee, hello. JH, I've tried a Young's overgrip once and it tore apart in less than an hour for me. Hour of use. Yeah. That's why luckily with the overgrips they're not that expensive. So you can try them and and you can really just like see which one works best for you and just kind of go from there. Kaylee, what's happening? This is a live stream talking about tennis gear, tennis equipment, and if you have questions about it, please feel free to chat along. If not, you can just hang out, just kind of enjoy the time here with us, and we'll go from there. Royal, I know everyone is waiting for the new era, but the V cores are the most intriguing for me. If 98 becomes more control, it'll be in the hands of a lot of people at the club level. Yeah, I could see that. The V cores are starting to gain traction compared to the E-Zone. The E-Zone's still like far outpacing it, but the V-Core has always been up there with the E-Zone itself. So I'm very curious to see how the new one does, just because if it is able to do even better than the current V-Core, then I think like you said, Royal, a lot more people are going to like it, and probably a lot more people are going to be switching to that too. But I don't know how it plays yet. I would like to know, but I just don't. Kaylee, are okay. Hope I didn't scare you, Kaylee. That wasn't the intention. JH, thank you, of course. Glad to help. Let me know what your findings are as you try and test out the grips. But yeah. All right. Oh no. Cool. So, with that, we've been here for almost over I've been here for over 2.5 hours. So, here in probably the next minute or two, I'm probably going to call it for the night. Now, granted, I will be back again tomorrow to talk more gear, talk more tennis, and we may not be in this exact same. We may not be in this spot. We may be on the other side, to where I was on the couch that I was on last night. But I'll stay around for another minute or two, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah. JH, what are my thoughts on the new Tourline restring and those kinds of string brands? I think that they're interesting. I haven't got to play with many of them, and that's why I have a pack of Tourline right here. This is K-pop, so I'm gonna try that. I bought Restring Zero. Did I buy Zero? Yeah. I bought Zero to try. I have Grapple Snake in one of my rackets right now. So I'm curious to try them, see how they are, see what all the hype is about, just because I haven't got to play with a lot of them on their own in my racket. So I'll let you know as I play more and more and just get more into them. But from what I've heard, many people think that they're pretty great. So we'll see. I'm not sure yet. Kaylee, what are you talking about? Kayla, I kind of don't know what you're talking about, girl. Raphael, thoughts on vintage Young's and Prince rackets from the late 80s? As long as they're not cracked, go for it. I don't know. You just got to make sure your arm and wrist are able to handle it. I don't think I've ever played with one equals... I don't think I've ever played with one and that's equaled me, like, getting hurt or anything, but that was me. But if you've had tennis elbow or anything before, maybe not the best idea just because they don't have as much dampening in them. Just depends. Like, try it if you want. Cotton, I've gone to church and back and you're still streaming. Keep grinding, my man. Hey, Cotton. That's crazy that you were able to do that. I honestly can't believe that. But yeah. The grind for tonight will probably stop here soon because I do have to work again tomorrow. And then we'll see about that. But like I said, I will be streaming again tomorrow night for anyone who would like to join. If not, I get it. That's okay. If you do, I would appreciate it, and we can hang out, talk even more. Justin, I decided to not go to Shake Shack for dinner and came home to eat the salad I bought. Dang, man. Was it at least a good salad? I don't know. I've never had a salad, so I'm just going to hope it was a good salad for you. Kayla, laughing equals a waffle. I try to spell laughing, but what are you... What? I'm a little confused. I've never heard of this. JH, thanks for the stream, Brody. See you tomorrow. All right, JH, I'll be looking for you. Make sure you comment so I can at least give me a chance to know you're here. Auto spelling. That's correct. That's crazy that it now I get it. It auto corrected laughing to waffle. How in the world did that happen, Kaylee? Gracie, hello. All right. Cool. So it was so sad. Oh. Sad. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fun over 2.5 hours with you. Why you? No. I've not. I have hit a single ball with Kevlar, and I never want to do it again. It was disgusting. I hated it. I don't like Kevlar at all. It should have never been made into a tennis string. And that is not something I ever want. That is not something I think people need to be playing with at all. Kevlar, bad. Not fun. Very adamantly against it. Also, I strung Kevlar once. Some guy wanted his racket strung with Kevlar, and at 19 pounds, that was terrible. That was simultaneously the most brittle and the hardest string I've ever actually strung ever. And that's also my record for lowest tension ever put into a racket. But no, Kevlar, awful. Get rid of it. Kaylee, why do I want Kevlar to never exist again for tennis? That is because it is extremely hard on the arm. It is, and most players, because it is very hard on the arm, this string also happens to be very hard to break because it's almost the exact same thing that they make bulletproof vests out of, being Kevlar. And so when they put that into your tennis racket as a string, it's very hard on you, it's very hard on the player, and it is not very good at, from what I've heard, actually helping you do anything. So with that, Kevlar just doesn't need to exist. We don't need to run the risk of people getting hurt because they think, oh, I want a string that's not going to break, so they get Kevlar in their racket, and then it just ends up hurting their arm, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to play tennis anymore because I got hurt when they were using Kevlar when it shouldn't have existed to begin with. So no, Kevlar, not cool, not fun. Oh, pretty much never recommend it and almost never have. Very rarely, very, very rarely have I ever or will I ever recommend Kevlar. No, not for most. It's not for most people. Bacon, hello, welcome. I know you came in when I was kind of on a little bit of a rant, but hello, thank you for being here. Before we head out, what am I talking about? I was on a rant about why Kevlar should not be used as a tennis string, even though it is. And who's my favorite player in tennis? My favorite player, he's a guy named Fabio Fognini. I liked him because of how effortless he made everything look in terms of power, in terms of play. He had always been my favorite, and that's why I was just like, yeah, this guy's pretty cool. This guy's pretty cool. I just liked him. Also, at the time, he was wearing a brand called Hydrogen, which had skulls on it. So I was like, this guy's sick, because I just thought it was cool. Kaylee, okay, bye. I liked your live stream. Bye, Kaylee. Thanks for showing up. Alexia, hello. Brianna, hi. Welcome back. You came back right at the end, so I mean, thank you for coming back, but like I've said before, I'm probably getting ready to end it here. Faye, cool glasses, thank you very much. Vib, can I get a wave and a smile? I don't know why you'd want that, but you can get a wave. V, what's the preferred racket spec? I don't know if I have a preferred one. Just because I play with so many rackets, I don't know if I've found one that I truly just prefer. I'd say, yeah, I don't have anything specific that I tend to gravitate towards right now. I just kind of like play with everything and see how I'm feeling that day. That's just me though. I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I can do that just because I have access to many rackets to play with, but typically not anything like that. Yeah, and then asking about Zag and Brianna, it don't matter. I don't. Ugh. I shall not disclose any of it. I shall not disclose any of that because what I believe and what others believe, even they may be different. So it's like one does not need to be more influential over the other. So whatever anyone believes, that's what they believe, and that's it. Royal, of course, you're welcome. All right. All right. No, you didn't. All right. Cool. All right. All right, everyone. It has been a fun time. We are done, but we are done for the night, or at least I am done for the night. I've been here for much longer than I thought. So, with that being said, with all this, I hope everyone did get to enjoy the stream. If you did, I'll be back streaming again tomorrow, and I'd love to see you there. If you didn't, and you never want to come back, that's okay. I get it. Not everyone is for everyone. That's okay. But with that being said, hope everyone had a great time. I know I did. And as always, take care.